Have you ever found yourself staring at your to-do list, knowing you have important tasks to complete, but you just can't bring yourself to start working on them? It's like a constant battle between what you need to do and the lack of motivation holding you back. Why does this happen, and more importantly, how can you overcome it? What if I told you that you don't actually need motivation to work hard every day? In this video, I'll show you how to build systems, stop procrastinating, and change your mindset so you can be incredibly productive, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. First things first, let's talk about establishing a daily routine. The truth is, you won't be able to do all your work and maintain habits every day with sheer willpower alone. It's natural to struggle with sticking to specific tasks without a strict plan. Creating a daily routine is crucial because it helps you get accustomed to executing habits. Over time, these habits become easier and more natural if you stick to your routine. Remember, establishing a daily routine doesn't happen overnight. It's a process where you gradually get used to doing new things until they become second nature. Also, don't overplan your routine. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things won't go as planned. Leave some room for flexibility. Think of your routine as a guiding framework rather than a rigid schedule. This way, you can adapt and adjust as needed while still maintaining consistency. Now, let's talk about consistency. The number one trait that separates successful people from unsuccessful people is consistency. As long as you keep working on your goals every day and make minor adjustments along the way, you will achieve long-term success. Thinking long-term is essential to stop procrastination. But another crucial question to ask yourself is, why are you demotivated to work hard every day? Often, it's because we're exposed to high dopamine activities too much. Activities like scrolling through social media or binge-watching shows flood our brains with dopamine, making other important tasks feel dull and gray in comparison. To counteract this, reduce the amount of media you consume and take breaks without your phone. Trust me, it makes a world of difference. The first actionable step is to think about what your ideal day looks like. It doesn't need to be hyper-detailed. Just a broad plan will do for now. To finally stop procrastinating, you need a strong reason why. You see, you have to make your brain understand why doing a certain activity is tremendously important for you. Otherwise, your brain will always prefer the activity that gives it more dopamine. Find your why. Why do you do what you do? Whenever you think about procrastinating, remember your reason. Overcoming procrastination is like going to the gym. At first, it's hard and challenging, but the more progress you see, the easier it becomes. Next, let's discuss creating an internal reward system. You should start attaching the feeling of friction and effort to an internally generated reward system. Simply put, this means you should stop seeking immediate pleasure before starting a task. Instead, find joy in the process itself. When your motivation is independent of external sources, it becomes more sustainable and self-driven. You'll be able to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel at the moment. Remember, at the beginning, you might struggle with finding joy in overcoming demotivation. But the more you expose yourself to it, the more trained your mind becomes, and the more independent you become from needing motivation. Now, let's talk about changing your self-image. If you see yourself as someone who can't work without motivation, you'll act accordingly. But if you start viewing yourself as someone who is capable of working consistently, especially on days when you aren't motivated, you'll start acting like that person. A great exercise to change your self-image is to work for at least 20 minutes every day for the next 2 weeks, even if you don't feel motivated. This isn't about getting things done. It's about proving to yourself that you can work daily, no matter what. Finally, let's embrace Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us to become independent of our feelings. It encourages us to be logical and rational rather than emotional, to work on self-control, and to accept what we can't change. When you feel friction and laziness, remember that overcoming that first small obstacle of actually starting is the hardest part. Once you start, the rest becomes easier. Understand this key lesson. Discomfort and friction are signs of extreme growth. Instead of seeing discomfort as something negative, view it as a positive opportunity for growth. Most of our growth comes from doing things that are hard today but make tomorrow easier. If you're always seeking immediate pleasure, you'll miss out on long-term success. So start thinking long-term. Don't live from pleasure to pleasure without a clear direction. Find your why, establish a routine, embrace consistency, create an internal reward system, change your self-image, and adopt Stoicism. As the saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Start planting your seeds of success today. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any future content. Until next time, take care.